The transition from the summer to the fall is usually where the biggest increase in inventory occurs within the Toronto real estate market and the GTA real estate market at large. But working with buyers right now all over the GTA and taking a look at the numbers on a daily basis, we simply see that this has not happened. So it leads me to ask, how bad is the inventory problem currently within the Toronto real estate market and the GTA real estate market? And what is the primary cause of this inventory crisis as we slowly and steadily approach yet another interest rate hike by the Bank of Canada, projected to be October 26th of 2022. That and much more, as always, in today's video. Hello everyone, this is Sam from SaberiSixRealEstate and Remax Realty Inc. As always, back with another video for you guys here today. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Sam with Remax Realty and SaberiSixRealEstate. I work with Toronto buyers and sellers across Toronto and the greater Toronto area. On this channel, we like to discuss all things Toronto real estate market and GTA real estate market oriented, building reviews, market trends, market facts, buyer advice, seller advice, tenancy laws, and everything else in between. So if you find this type of content informative or entertaining, feel free to subscribe, comment, rate, and review. Furthermore, you can find me with regards to my contact information on the screen and in the description box as well. Feel free to reach out with any questions you may have. Enough of that, let's get to the point of today's video, which is inventory numbers. Now, to set the table a quick second here, right now I'm actively working with 4 buyers across the GTA, 2 in downtown, 1 in York region, and 1 in the Durham area. And all across, I see from downtown condos to Richmond Hill townhomes to detached in Durham and other property types that I have an eye on for my not so serious buyers at this moment, I see a simple drought. Now, in terms of when the inventory seasonally usually peaks is around the fall market. That is when the biggest jump in inventory seasonally and normally occurs from the summer to the fall market. But this has not been the case thus far this year. But let's not just go purely based upon my experience of the fact. Let's take a look at the numbers, shall we? Now, by no means is this a sexy Excel. It's not, it will definitely not win any awards for data arrangement or illustration, but it gets the job done for me. And here, if you guys can take notes, I have tracked down the number of new properties coming onto the market on a daily basis starting September 1st up to the most recent day we have in full, which is October 17th. And this once again represents new listings coming onto the market on a daily basis across the GTA and across all property types. Now here I have broken it down between condos and freehold, once again across the GTA, but no longer obviously across all property types. September did start on a Thursday, with a 400 figure here, 254, and of course Saturday and Sundays are usually very low in terms of inventory. Usually properties do not come onto the market on those days. Here you see a drop from 264 to 92 and 71. And the biggest listing figures we would see would be, for instance, 618 here and 614. Now this seems very high, right? Like 600 properties coming onto the market for sale at any given moment in time. Seems very high. You have to understand, this is across the GTA. This, is all the way from Halton to Clarington to, Waterfront to, Lake Simcoe. So when you really think about it, 600 is okay, is really good by this low inventory season standards, but it's, 600 across a large landmass and including all property types. Earlier in the year, we were seeing figures of 700, 600 just for freehold. So not all property types, but just for freehold. 700 new listings, 700 new homes for sale would come onto the market just for freehold. Now, even though this is pretty bad with regards to September, the situation gets much worse when we go into the start of October. If we just, for the sake of calculation, see the first 17 full days of September, here the sum total will be about 6,184 new listings. Now, the reason I say the first 17 days is because, once again, as aforementioned, we're only 17 days full into October. So let's do a quick month-over-month comparison and start from the 1st of October here, which was a Saturday, and extended all the way to October 17th. Well, on the dot, we see about 6,000. The sum total here would be about 6,000. Now, obviously, there's a caveat here to be added. There's a long weekend known as Thanksgiving that people tend to take off. And usually that, in all sectors, not just real estate, but obviously in this case, real estate, and especially people going onto the market, slows things down. So we have to account for the long weekends here as well. It's not an exact science. It's never going to be an exact science with real estate, but it does help us get the general point, the general direction of what the truth is. Now, in terms of why this is happening, which leads me to discuss what is coming up, which is yet another projected rate hike. And you may ask, well, what does this have to do with inventory? Well, as inflation continues to increase or stay around unhealthy rates, central banks, such as the Bank of Canada and the Fed in the United States, react by increasing interest rates, combat inflation and a looming recession. Well, this has a negative impact and has had a negative impact on real estate prices, whether detached in Mississauga, condos downtown, anywhere and any property type we take a look at is far below the peak markets of March and February of 2022, and in some instances below year over year. So I hope if you're avid viewer of this channel, I don't have to go through all the sales figures to establish how much prices have fallen, because that's probably 80% of what I talk about, at least within the last 6 months, unfortunately. Nonetheless, the interest rates have had this negative impact on home prices. As a result, according to basic microeconomics on the supply side of things, when we see, according to the law of supply, sellers are less likely to sell and go on market when prices keep declining. So this is a very basic explanation as to why listings have seized up. A more complicated and sophisticated answer, which I have covered in my most recent videos, is that not only are sellers reading the market saying to themselves, well, the market is down, I don't need to sell, why would I sell now when I could have sold earlier? I could just wait. Part of that formulation is the fact that there is a lot of uncertainty with regards to where the market is headed. We don't know how many more rate hikes and we don't know how many more basis points are to come. This impacts the sellers waiting to see what the perfect time is. This furthermore also impacts the buyers, because buyers are either eliminated from the market due to the increase of interest rates, or they're more likely to wait to perfectly time the market or try to buy at the lowest point. So although I'm actively working with a lot of buyers, I think that's virtue of my business, to be honest with you. I think not a lot of buyers are actively putting in offers. As we've covered, there are a lot of buyers actively looking, but they're just going to showings. Those figures are down as well, don't get me wrong, but those figures, showing figures, are down far less as compared to, for instance, offer figures. So the uncertainty of the market, in combination with the fact of falling prices and a waiting game that's occurring amongst buyers and sellers, is causing a pause on inventory. I do foresee that once we get a clear image of where the market is headed with regards to how many more rate hikes, with regards to how many more basis points, and what the foreseeable future will have in store for us with regards to the landscape interest rate wise, once we have a clearer image of that, inventory will undoubtedly increase. But as of now, quality options are very limited, and what quality options do exist are staying on the market for a long time because the sellers are a little bit stubborn in terms of expectations, and buyers are facing a threshold they're not willing to cross. So there's also a proverbial no man's land happening in the back and forths for a lot of offers. I much prefer that, to be honest with you, on the buyer side, because I'd rather my buyer not get something than get something and overpay, unless they really make it clear to me, Sam, I'm in love with this property, I want it at all costs. Anything short of that, obviously I'm not comfortable letting them overpay. And on the selling side, what I have noticed and what I'm saying to my sellers is to their benefit as well. I'm telling most of my sellers, hey, do not list right now. If you can afford to wait, wait. So with this next rate hike coming up, it's going to be very interesting to see what the basis point increase will be for that. Let me know in the comments how much you guys think they're going to increase it on the 26th. Do you think it's going to be a full basis point, 0.75, 0.5, 0.25? Hey, even get crazy if you actually believe they're not going to increase it at all. If you're going to think they're going to increase this by 2 basis points, I highly doubt that, but let me know in the comments. And obviously, it goes without saying that none of us can see into the future, unfortunately. If I could see into the future, I would not be here right now. Anyways, thank you very much so for watching. Stay safe, stay tuned. Find my contact info in the description box. Thank you.